Okay, Orla, thank you very much for that. Orla Giran in Cairo there. Let's stay with this, because joining us on the line now from Jeddah is the journalist Sakhr Al-Makhadhi. Hello to you. I mean, what is your feeling on this conference? I mean, many people's initial impression, of course, is that this is a man-made disaster, which a huge amount of money is going to. What is your feeling?
Well, this was a totally avoidable disaster. And, you know, we've had conferences held in different Middle Eastern capitals before to deal with different Middle Eastern crises before. And we've had these huge pledges, you know, amounting to billions of dollars. Today we've heard a $1 billion pledge from Qatar, $200 million from the UAE. And often the problem is that these countries don't follow through on the pledges that they've made. So they've got these headline fanfare announcements, but then the countries occasionally don't actually see that full amount, and the UN is left to kind of beg in silence for the rest of the money to come through. And, you know, even if the full amount was to go through, Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president, says that he needs $4 billion to rebuild Gaza, and they've already got really a drop in the ocean today.
And in terms of, we heard John Kerry in his statement, for example, talking about how this needed to come with a political solution as well, and talking about a two-state solution. What are the prospects of this money being pegged to that wish?
Well, I think it really does need to be pegged to some kind of political solution. I'm not sure whether pegging it to the two-state solution, which Israel has done its best to avoid for many, many years, is the right solution. But otherwise, you're simply pumping money in to justify the previous conflict and to allow future conflicts to happen on exactly the same basis, on the promise that the international community will clear up the debris a few months later. So there really does need to be a much bigger solution, bigger than rebuilding Gaza. You know, there needs to be a permanent solution to prevent this happening again in a couple of years' time. And that involves lifting the siege on Gaza. That involves putting pressure on Israel and Egypt to lift that siege, because that is where Palestinians are suffering the most. It's not from, living in terrible conditions, living homeless in Gaza, but living under a siege where they can't get very basic materials into that territory. And that's what these illegal tunnels are being used for in the most part. It's not simply weapons, but it's also getting in the very basic supplies that Egypt and Israel are preventing them from getting.
Okay, Sakhr Al-Makhadhi, thank you very much for that. Thank you.